welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV screen to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well let's learn English together. And hello people, hello again and welcome to the show. Welcome to Thursday, which, as we all know, is just one day away from our favourite day of the week, the standard working week, that is, obviously. All right, so, are you all ready for some more gaps? Are you all ready to fill some gaps? Well, I hope so. And I hope that you all remember your prepositions, because it's one of those today. A gap fill stuffed from head to toe with prepositions. All right, well, let's get cracking. Doodaloo Thursday. Doodaloo the evening, not doodaloo the morning. Billy doodaloo phoned his friends Jeffrey and Amanda and asked if they wanted to go to the cinema. Jeffrey and Amanda doodaloo said yes, and doodaloo, three of them met doodaloo the cinema, doodaloo 7 doodaloo. All right, well, that's the first part. So let's have a look at what the answers are for this part. PM, outside, at, phoned, both, in, on, the. Well, they're pretty simple, aren't they? Some prepositions, a verb in the past simple, easy. Okay, so what's first? Well, we're talking about a day, aren't we? So that means that we must need a preposition, doesn't it? We're talking about when something happened, on which day? On Thursday. Good. So the first one is on. Perfect. On Thursday. All right. What about the next one? Well, what about the next two, really? They're really simple, aren't they? Yes. Which preposition do we use with 3 of the 4 parts of the day? Yes, you all remember, don't you? In the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, and the strange one, at night. So here for number 2 and 3, it's in twice, isn't it? On Thursday, in the evening, not in the morning. Righty-dokey, what's next? Well, it's quite long, this part of the sentence, but it's only got one gap. And it's easy, isn't it? Yes, we've been given the verb we have to use, the verb to phone, the shorter form of the verb to telephone, the verb we use to say that we call someone using a phone. Okay. And is the verb to phone regular or irregular? It's regular, isn't it? Phone becomes phoned. And we know that we add ed to regular verbs when we make the past simple form, don't we? Yes, but here we only have to add a d, only a d because the verb ends in e. So, phone plus d, phoned, simple. Billy phoned his friends Jeffrey and Amanda and asked if they wanted to go to the cinema. All right, so on we go. Last sentence in this bit. Jeffrey and Amanda doodaloo said yes, and doodaloo, 3 of them, met doodaloo the cinema, doodaloo 7 doodaloo. Okay, so we've got the verb to say in the past simple. It's irregular, say becomes said. Okay, but what word should go in the gap before said? Well, how many people are we talking about here? Yes, not 1, not 3, not 27, 2. And what's the word we use when we're talking about 2 things together? Yes, both. They both said yes. Jeffrey said yes, and Amanda also said yes. They both said yes. Okay, what about the next one? Well, do we know which 3 people we're talking about? Yes, of course we do. This isn't a new random group of 3 people, one of many groups of 3 people in the galaxy, is it? No. This is Billy, Jeffrey and Amanda, the 3 people in our story. So, definite article. The 3 of them met. Good. And where did they meet? Okay, well, there's more than one possibility for this really, isn't there? We could use lots of different prepositions, couldn't we? At, near, by, opposite, behind. All of those could work, but the one we've been offered is perfect too. Outside. They're not meeting inside the cinema, they're meeting outside. Good. And what about the last 2? Well, one of them is a preposition of time, and the other one is connected to that time of day that they're meeting. So, at 7 p.m. They're meeting outside the cinema at 7 p.m. Done. On Thursday, in the evening, not in the morning, Billy phoned his friends Jeffrey and Amanda and asked if they wanted to go to the cinema. Jeffrey and Amanda both said yes, and the three of them met outside the cinema at 7 p.m. Alrighty, so on we go to the next part of the gap fill. They doodaloo buy tickets, doodaloo show doodaloo tickets to the man at doodaloo door, and doodaloo go in. When they got inside, they doodaloo find their seats and doodaloo sit down. Jeffrey doodaloo sit, doodaloo Amanda. Amanda doodaloo sit, doodaloo both Jeffrey and Billy. Jeffrey doodaloo sit, doodaloo Amanda's left, and Billy doodaloo sit, doodaloo Amanda's right. Amanda doodaloo sit, doodaloo Jeffrey and Billy. All right, well, this is a bit longer, isn't it? Never mind, dry your eyes and have a look at the answers. Was sitting 5 times, between, next to, twice, sat, found, on, bought, the or there, showed, went, the. Crikey! Well, there's quite a few gaps, and there are the words we need to fill the gaps with. Okay, so no time to waste. Let's get stuck in. So, let's have another look at the first sentence, shall we? All right, so what have we got for the first one? Easy. Yes, it is, isn't it? We know the verb to buy, a synonym for purchase, and we also know that this verb is irregular, don't we? Buy doesn't become buyed. No, buy in the past simple is bought. They bought tickets. Good. And then what did they do? Well, there's the verb to show, and it's a regular verb, isn't it? Show becomes showed. So, they bought tickets, showed. Now what? Well, what do you think? Well, what are we talking about? What did they show? That's right, we're talking about the object of the sentence, the tickets. Or, if we want to stress the personal adjective idea, their tickets. So, either we're using the definite article because we know which tickets we're talking about, the tickets that they bought, the tickets that they got, the tickets they paid for, the tickets they're holding. All of these ideas show us that it's a definite article idea. We've identified which tickets we're talking about. Or, there's another possibility too. We could use a possessive adjective as well, couldn't we? Yes. In this sentence, it doesn't make any difference. We can either use the definite article and talk about the tickets that they bought, the ones that they're holding, or we can say their tickets. Both work. So, it's up to us. Either the or their. Next. All right. Have we identified the door? Do we know which door we're talking about? Yes, of course we have. It's the door that leads to the room where the film is going to be shown. We know which door it is, so we need the definite article, don't we? Yes, we're not talking about any door here, are we? No, we're talking about a specific door. The door where the man is standing waiting to check tickets. The door which leads to the room where the film is going to be shown. So here, we need the definite article. And what about the last one? Well, this one's the easiest of the bunch, isn't it? The verb to go, in the simple past. What's the answer? Yes, went. They went in. Let's see it. They bought tickets, showed the or their tickets to the man at the door and went in. All right, okie dokie, on we go to the next bit. Simple, pimple. 2 verbs in the simple past. Find, irregular, find becomes found. They found their seats. Sit, also irregular, sit becomes sat and sat down. Done. When they got inside, they found their seats and sat down. On we go to the next section. Okay, this is the last bit. So let's see the text. Okay, now we can see that some of these gaps have to be filled with verbs, and that means that we have to decide which tense we're going to use. Well, what do we know about the time that we're thinking of? That's right, it's in the past, isn't it? The whole story is in the past, which means that we've got 2 possibilities, doesn't it? We can either use the past simple or what? Yes, that's right. We can also use the past continuous, can't we? So, it's up to us. We can either complete these sentences with the past simple or the past continuous. Jeffrey sat, was sitting, doodle-doo, Amanda. So, which one do you prefer? I'm going to go with the past continuous. It just sounds nicer. I'm not sure why, but it sounds better to me. But as I said, that's my opinion. Anyway, we can use both. But what about the next gap? Well, which preposition is it? Near, opposite, underneath, above, behind? Oh, come on. Logically, which preposition of place is the correct one? Yes, of course. You don't go to the cinema with someone and sit near them, do you? Of course not. And you don't sit opposite them either. Underneath? Why did you buy a ticket if you're planning on sitting underneath someone else? Above? How? Is this a double-decker cinema? Behind? Well, behind works, but why would you sit behind someone you went with? No. Although various prepositions of place are possible, the only logical one is next to. Jeffrey sat, was sitting next to Amanda. All right, and on we go. All right, well, we can see that we need to change the verb to the right tense. So let's do that. The verb to sit in the past continuous for the third person singular was sitting. And what about the next one? Which preposition? Yes, it's next to, once more, isn't it? Amanda was sitting next to both Jeffrey and Billy. Okay, next. Okay, poker fans, it's the same thing, isn't it? Verbs and prepositions. So, was sitting, because we're still talking about the third person singular, but which preposition of place are we going to use? Well, we've got left and right, and we remember with left and right we use on. It's on your right. It's on my left. The supermarket is on the left of the street. The exit is on the right. So here, that's what we need, isn't it? Yes, put them in. Jeffrey was sitting on Amanda's left and Billy was sitting on Amanda's right. Excellent. And now the last bit. And it's an easy one, isn't it? Yes. Third person singular past continuous form of the verb to sit and another preposition of place. So, was sitting. And which preposition of place? Well, we could use next to, but that's not the best solution, is it? We know how the three of them are sitting. So what's the best preposition of place? Yes, the preposition of place we need is between. Let's fill those gaps. Amanda was sitting between Jeffrey and Billy. Excellent, and we finished. So, let's see the whole text once more. On Thursday, in the evening, not in the morning, Billy phoned his friends Jeffrey and Amanda and asked if they wanted to go to the cinema. Jeffrey and Amanda both said yes, and the three of them met outside the cinema at 7 p.m. They bought tickets, showed their tickets to the man at the door and went in. When they got inside, they found their seats and sat down. Jeffrey was sitting next to Amanda. Amanda was sitting next to both Jeffrey and Billy. Jeffrey was sitting on Amanda's left and Billy was sitting on Amanda's right. Amanda was sitting between Jeffrey and Billy. All right, well done. We've completed another gap fill. Good. Okay, so what now? Well, we're almost at the end of the lesson, so there's no more time for any other exercises today. But don't worry, don't fret. We'll be back almost before you know it. And tomorrow, we've got some more questions, some more multiple choice questions to have a look at it. So relax for the rest of the afternoon, unless you've got something that you have to do, that is. If you've got something you have to do, then now is the time to do that. If you don't have anything that you have to do, no chores, no homework, then the world is your ostrich. It's up to you to decide what you want to do. Go for a walk, go for a run, eat something, drink something, go to the cinema with your friends. The possibilities are endless. As for me, I'm off home. I need a coffee and then, well, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. What I do know is that I'll see you all tomorrow, here on the TV. Same time, same place. And remember, if after you've finished all of your chores, if after you've had your fun, if after all that you've got some spare time, some extra time, some free time, then you can always check out the website. There's probably some new words for you to have a look at. Anyway, as always, remember to have fun while you're doing what you're doing. That's the most important thing. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. Right, I'm off, but I'll be back, waiting for you all to join me tomorrow at the same time. See you all tomorrow. See you later. Bye.